What's up, guys and gals, and welcome to Shadowrun Dragonfall. My name is Splattercat, and as always, I am your resident Shadowrun fan, ready to walk you through this game with the utmost. I'm gonna be so gentle. It's gonna be amazing. So I was pretty much up all night last night waiting for this game. I was so excited that I couldn't sleep. And so you'll forgive me, I may babble a bit. I may be a bit more rambly than usual, and my voice may sound a little weird. I don't know. I was up all night just because games get me excited like that, and Shadowrun is one of the few series that gets me to that level, I suppose, of just real huskiness. In this game, I think I'm not going to cover lore quite as much as I did in the last series. If you want to see that, please go back and watch the first series. There is a first half to this series, Shadowrun Returns, where I'll explain all the lore and everything. I'm going to be a bit more brusque with things that I've already explained on this playthrough. I will touch them really quickly, like touch and go, but I'm not going to spend as much time on explaining like what the Matrix is, for example. I'll just kind of tell you and then keep moving. I'm not going to go into depth because I already did that in the first series. I will also say that every campaign that I've ever run in Shadowrun has been in Seattle or San Francisco, and so I am I don't have any knowledge about Berlin. So I may not have lore to offer in the first place about this because I've never run a campaign or read anything that took place in Berlin. So that being said, let's go to New Game, and we'll choose the Shadowrun Dragonfall campaign. We'll launch it. I'm going to go on normal difficulty, and here we go. And hopefully everything goes the way that we want it to. I believe the last character I made was Mad Dog McGriddle, and I bounce back and forth between female and male characters just to make it all nice and even because it makes me feel happy. And I think I'm going to go with a male character this time because our last guy was Mad Dog McGriddle, and that was a mean female from the tough streets of Calradia and Mountain Blade Warband. And so this time we're going to go with a male character. Our race, I haven't really thought about anything that I want to do in this series, so I'm a little bit... With the last playthrough I did go with a Shaman. I may go with a mage this time, though, because I like the mages a little bit better. Shamans are cool. I mean, they have access to some amazing abilities, especially in Dragonfall. They got buffed super hardcore to where they're pretty indisposable now. They have, like, AoE heals, like, all kinds of crazy stuff that they didn't have before. For my race, I don't know what race I want to be either. Let's have a look here. Be an orc. I never play elves. I mean... If I go with a troll, I'm going to feel the pull to be a street samurai because that's what trolls do. They kick ass and they take names. Let's have a look and... Well... I've never done an elf before, and I'm one of those people that rags on elves super... Like, I rag on elves super hardcore in real life, so I'm going to go with an elf just to prove that I'm open-minded and I'll do something new every now and again. And we're going to go with a Shaman. Now, let's talk about the classes. So I will do a brief introduction to the classes in case you're new and you absolutely are just refusing to go back and watch my other series. The Street Samurai is your basic warrior. He just kicks ass and takes names, wears heavy armor, slashes things to death, beats things to death, throws things to death. If there's an instrument that he can plunge into something, he's probably going to do it. His job is killing and being the killiest. The Mage. The Mage uses his fundamental willpower to rip things out of the ether and force them to happen. And so he kind of tears the magic from all around him and forces it to bend beneath his will to get what he wants. The Decker is a cybermancer, somebody that's really, really good at computer science. That guy that's probably destined to make a lot of money someday. Really, really good inside of the Matrix, but otherwise you can kit them up to be basically samurais on the side. The game is very open to multi-classing, but Deckers are best inside the Matrix. That's just what they do. They hack computers, they get you inside of networking systems. It's just that they're all around great to have around, and they're what I prefer to play. They're my favorite class, and that's what I played in Shadowrun Returns. The Shaman, like a mage but a little bit different, he communes with the spirits, so instead of tearing energy out of the ether, he actually convinces the spirits to give him power through his superior charisma. A very cool character to have because he's going to have incredibly high charisma the entire game, which means we may potentially be able to talk our way out of a lot of situations without ever having to be in the line of conflict. The Rigger. The Rigger is kind of an interesting class that they introduced, I think, in 4th. I don't know. They introduced him in a recent edition. I didn't know what a Rigger was going into Shadowrun Returns. Never seen one before because I'm an OG Shadowrun player. All we had back in those days was like these 4 classes right here. But the Rigger, he uses pets. If you're really into pets, that's what the Rigger is. He has lots of drones that he deploys, and they all have their own attacks and abilities and things that they do. They also can multi-class as Deckers. They can multi-class as anything you want. I mean, you could be a Mage Rigger if you really wanted to, but certain things synergize better, and he synergizes really, really well with decking. And the Physical Adept is finally, if you were ever into martial arts, but also ever wanted a character who had like magically imbued martial arts, that's what the Physical Adept is. He's a physical character who beats people up, uses katanas, things of that nature, and then uses magic to amplify his abilities. So kind of a sword dancer, whirling dervish type of character. Very, very cool. We're going to go with a Shaman on this run through. Let me unclick that. And looking through the portraits, I don't really like any of them. Let's go through a bit more slowly. So we've got Generic Elf. Generic Elf with Mohawk Smiling. We have Bald Creeper Man, who looks like he's about to carry you off to a dungeon somewhere and force you to rub lotion on yourself. This guy's got dancing runes all over his head. I always like that idea, the concept of runes as tattoos that kind of swirl around you and don't stay in one spot. Obviously a street samurai, he's got lots of Japanese tattoos and things. Generic mage right there, he's got some kind of breathing device up in his nose. I would have put it in my mouth, but I guess if you want to have it in your nose, that's cool. Goggly man with piercings. That guy looks as though he's about to like host a carnival or something. He's got aviator shades, but he's tattooed on a soul patch, which ruins that for me. This guy looks like he belongs in the Princess Bride or something. He looks like he just jumped out of a Misfits concert. He's got kind of like a Jerry-only thing going on, or like a Michael Graves thing. That's pretty cool. I know there's another one around here that I've seen. I think I'm going to go with the Beardy Man. Definitely, I'm a fan of beards. We'll get like our Zach Galifianakis elf thing going on right now. Skin tone, we'll go right there. For the hair, we'll kind of match it up a little bit. That hairstyle looks like it might work, although he's got kind of a floppy hawk thing going on. So I'll go like right there. That's close enough. And then that's going to connect with our beard. And blammo, we're looking good, albeit a little bit skinny and emaciated. Definitely need to go hit the upper body a little bit. Maybe get our creatine on, do some Zotmans, see if we can't get ourselves yoked. But for the time being, that's going to work. Let's go to our stats. And it represents, okay, so yeah, the game is dictated by karma. So up here, karma is the points that you spend on abilities, and you gain it just through doing activities. Shadowrun isn't like a lot of other role-playing games. You don't get XP for defeating enemies or anything like that. You're going to be given karma at the end of runs and after doing something that's particularly intelligent, but beyond that, karma is a lot less prevalent, I suppose, than XP in other games. There's a lot of stats here to choose from, and I'm not really going to run through them. If you want me to do that, go back to the Shadowrun Returns playthrough, but you've got body, which is your physical stat, quickness, how good you are at dodging things, all of the associated weapon skills. I think we should probably give ourselves weapon skills. Actually, no, we're going to ignore it. We're a mage. We don't need them. Whatever. Mages don't use guns. We use mind bullets. We fire at you with the kinesthetics of our mind. I don't even think that's the right word, but I made one up. Kinesthetics? I don't think that's... that's probably completely wrong now that I'm thinking about it. Nope, not going to use that word. But anyways, using the kinetics of our mind. There we are. The self-spawned kinetics. We start with a charisma of 6, which is, frankly, overpoweringly good. That means we're almost a genius when it comes to charisma at this point. Once we get up to 8 or 9, that means we have superhuman, and we can actually go all the way up to 12 because we're an elf, which is super awesome. And because we're beautiful, everybody loves us more. I'm going to go with Spirit Summoning 3 so that I can have a totem. And we can choose between a bunch here. We've got the Creator Idol, which lowers the chance that our spirits will break away so long as we're within 3 tiles of them. I use my spirits as bullet sponges, so I'm never going to be near my spirit. The Dragon Slayer Idol, it allows you to increase the damage reduction within 3 squares of you, of all of your allies. That one allows you to AoE heal anybody within 3 tiles. And the final one here is the Wild Huntsman, which increases your damage by +4 but lowers your accuracy within 3 tiles. Bear and Great Mother seem to have the same ability, and I don't know how they differ. They both heal for the last damage you took within 3 tiles. And so they look the same to me. I'm going to go with Bear, probably. But we'll talk about the others. So we have Cat, which gives you dodge +1. We have Coyote, which gives all friends quickness +1. We have Eagle, which is chance to hit +15. Raccoon, which gives you a big move bonus. But beyond that, I don't really like anything other than Bear. Bear's ability is kind of overpowered from what I've experimented with. We could also go 1 higher with Spirit Summoning. What would that do for us? It'll give us another spellbook slot. From what I saw in the brief time that I played, it looks as though Shamans have gotten a big buff in this game. They have a lot more utility spells and things to be used. We can also go Lightning Barrier right there. I think instead... yeah, let's go with... I'm in a multi-class. And so I do think what I should do is take a little bit of intellect-related skills or willpower-related skills so that we can have some mage abilities on the back burner. So we'll go like willpower 1 and willpower 2 right there. And so that'll, having 2 spellcasting, I'm sorry, spellcasting 1 and spellcasting 2. Having spellcasting 1 and 2 will allow us to multi-class a little bit and have some cooler abilities. If we wanted to be really badass, we could also make our character part chi casting, which is the ability that the Adepts use. So we could be a frontline fighter who also summons spirits and does all kinds of crazy stuff. Kind of an interesting idea. Maybe kind of a sitting bull type or a crazy horse type build, maybe. Very, very cool and interesting, but I think I'm going to go mage and spirit summoning for this run through. So that's that. We're all out of karma except for that one. We're going to confirm and continue. And we get to choose 3 etiquettes. I know it's pronounced etiquette. Don't fill my comments with spam about how I'm pronouncing things wrong. I do that on purpose for comedic value. We get to choose etiquettes, and what an etiquette does is an etiquette is a location or a situation in which you are comfortable. Like, you know the slang, you know the lingo, you know what's going on. You are immersed in that location. So the first I'm going to go with is corporate, which means that in corporate settings we know all the slang, we know what to do to handle ourselves in a corporate setting. I'm going to go with Shadowrunner because we are a Shadowrunner, so that's always the obvious choice, is to know how to handle yourselves among other Shadowrunners. Then the final I'm going to go with, there's not a big difference between street and gang. I mean, there's a little difference. For example, gang is going to be more how to interface with gangs and how to get along with like the I-5ers and how to get along with the Halloweeners, which are various gangs. We're not going to be dealing with them because they're not in Berlin. I don't even know what gangs are in Berlin. Those are Seattle gangs, whereas street knowledge would be where to get yourself a good cup of coffee, I guess. I think going with security would probably be a good call. I've never seen security not be useful, and I've never seen academic not be useful. Let's go with academic since we're going to be doing, well, we're not going with a lot of intellect, so let's not do academic. We may speak outside of our means. Let's go with socialite since we have a lot of charisma. That's one that I've never used, so we'll figure it out. And then our in-game name, what do I want it to be? Let's go Three-Toe. It's a pretty good shaman name. Or Stormwaker. Stormwaker? No, Three-Toe. I like that better. It has background story. Maybe we got forklift foot and we lost some of our toes in the horrible medical accident. Ooh, I'm getting the jitters. Zoning in the Harfeld Manor run. Life was good. Easy jobs, regular pay, and a reliable crew. But things went south and you had to drop off the grid. Put a bullet in the past and start fresh, somewhere new. The promise of opportunity and anonymity draws you to the free city of Berlin. The Flux State. A grand experiment in social order. Corporations tread carefully here. Even the great dragon Lofweir only has so much sway in the constantly evolving power structure of Berlin. The perfect place for a savvy Shadowrunner to disappear and begin anew. And as luck would have it, home to your old partner in crime, Monica Schaefer. It's your third run with Monica and her team, an old castle holdfast 1 hour east of Berlin, perched on a hill overlooking the countryside. The job is a standard smash and grab, crack the vault, grab the data, and get out in one piece. A mediocre payday, but work is work. As the team gathers for Monica's pre-run briefing, you pause to take in your surroundings. So excited about this. The Harfeld Manor 2054, 1 hour east of Berlin. The estate grounds are silent, save for the faint whistling of the wind. Your team gathers near a side entrance to the old castle holdfast, cloaked in darkness. The night is peaceful. You know it won't last. You know it for what it is, a pleasant illusion that will shatter at the sound of the first gunshot. Listen up, folks. Monica Schaefer, you ran with her back in the day, watched her get her first data jack, and now she's your team leader and a Drek hot decker to boot. We're on a tight timetable. I want to enter the estate, find the basement, open the data vault, extract the files in both. 10 minutes, top to bottom. Trying to get home in time for Worm Talk, love? Dietrich, Shaman, the old man of the team. He smiles at her, his facial tattoos writhing in the moonlight. Monica's eyes twinkle with mischief. Maybe. How many times have I told you, you can't trust anything that comes out of a dragon's mouth. That trid trash will rot your brain. As you might have guessed, it's a TV show. She grins. It's educational. Besides, this should be a milk run. Security is supposed to be light, and few automatic heavy weapons, no armor. With a little luck, they'll never even know that we were here. And so we can say just like old times, and in my experience, there's no such thing as a milk run. That's me. Right there. That is me right there. Words of wisdom from our new addition. I agree with Three-Toe. Glory. Razor-clawed street samurai. Her voice is cold and neutral, her expression placid. They may only be private security, but their bullets don't know that. I could patch you up if I have to, but I'd rather not have to. You people need to relax. We're professionals, remember? She raises her arm and speaks into a wrist-mounted comlink. A darkened face shimmers on the view screen. Iger, you in position? The comlink crackles and the response comes back low and soft. Softer than you'd expect from a troll. Affirmative. The alarm lines have been cut, and I have a clear line of fire on the estate service entrance. When you exit the building, the path will be clear. Excellent. Thank you, Iger. Just doing my job. Iger out. The comlink goes dark and Monica winks at you as she drops her arm. See, we're professionals. Alright, people, enough chatter. Our client wants the data from the vault, so we get him the data from the vault. Quick, quiet, and quick? You said quick twice. She grins. Worm Talk is on tonight. Glory raises an eyebrow slightly. I told you, it's educational. Get your stuff and we'll head in. Time to get our badass BFGs of doom, because that's how you start off games. Your gear and some weapons lie in the back of the van. Let's grab a weapon, even though we won't need it. I think we're gonna go shotties in this run. Let's go shotties. Well, we could just go melee weapons, and we could take a couple points in Adept just in case anything gets close to us. We're gonna be a mage, which means we're always gonna be a distance if we can help it. Let's grab the shoddy. Yeah, buddy. The sawed-off Benelli. And then we grab the rest of our kit. The Force 1 Air Elemental Fetish, Haste 1. It looks like that's all that they've given us. And basic medkit. Alright. You grab your running gear from a worn duffel bag near the weaponry. A Bomona Trauma Kit. I'm going to assume that Bomona is just the Dockwagon subsidiary from Berlin. I don't know. In the future, there's these companies that they monitor your life signs, or they monitor your life signs, and if you end up like dying, they come in and save you and then stabilize you. That's what Dockwagon and Bomona do. Just in case you were wondering the background on these companies, their job is to make sure that you don't die, no matter what. They will actually come in and kill people to make sure that you don't die. Pretty sweet service, to be honest. Let's get on in here. Our goal is to keep the team alive. That seems fairly foreboding. Let's have a look around. And let me look at my kit, actually, before we go any further here. We've got a Benelli. We've got the... Oh, Acid Bolt. That's new. A Conjurer's Basic Acid Bolt does damage over time to the target. Cool. We may not even need the shotgun. I was wondering if they would start me with Mana Bolt or something since I took a little bit of Mage, but it looks like they haven't. A private museum. The owner of this estate must have money to burn. Treasure! So let's see if we can't earn ourselves some extra cash here. A variety of remarkably well-preserved Slavic artifacts. The complete skeleton of a theropod dinosaur. It appears to be genuine. It'd be badass if we could take the top, like the head off, and then just like place it on our head like a shaman with a dinosaur skull on our head, just dancing around doing all kinds of crazy dance moves, getting our MJ on. That's how my shaman would be. The vase in this case looks both very old and very valuable. A fine scrollwork of lapis and gold leaf decorates its exterior, and the interior shimmers with the organic beauty of abalone shell. Your fixer could probably move this thing in a heartbeat. You can't help but notice that the glass casing looks awfully flimsy. Let's smash it. Okay, vase, you're coming with me. As you draw your arm back to smash the glass, Dietrich catches it. His gnarled hand tightens around your wrist. Not a smart move, Kleiner. We have a job to do, and hauling a great big vase around isn't part of it. Dietrich offers you a toothy grin. Unless the vase figured into your plans to complete the mission somehow? Do you have a vase-oriented strategy that I wasn't aware of? I get your point. The payday from the run will do. Nah. The vase is going to earn me a nice bonus. Nah. I was thinking we could use it. There we go. I'm going to try and convince him. I was thinking we could use it to smuggle Monica into the data vault. Dietrich stifles a chuckle. An excellent plan, Three-Toe, and I support it fully. We should get moving, though. We shouldn't keep the enemy waiting, or we shouldn't keep the others waiting. I don't see any vases being bashed out of here. So it looks as though my evil plans to steal and pillage have been stopped once again. The cask in this display case is decorated with inlaid panels of ivory scrimshaw. Scrimshaw is whalebone, in case you didn't know. In case you were wondering what scrimshaw is, it's whalebone carvings from old sailors back in the Dia. Take it slow in here by clicking halfway across the room. I don't see anything too scary just yet. We can either go for that room or we can go for this one. This one's closer and I'm a lazy bastard, so let's go for this one. Oh good, we've made our first friend. So how the combat works in this game, if you're not acclimated and you didn't listen to me and you didn't go back and watch the last series, hint hint, nudge nudge, the game is turn-based obviously. Up here at the top you're going to have the AP for each character. Every action takes 1 AP, excluding some specialist actions which take 2. So just keep an eye up here if you're wondering what I'm doing. You can increase your AP over the course of the game by increasing your quickness, probably a useful stat to have no matter who you are. I'm going to move into the room and circumnavigate his cover for an 88% chance to attack. Our automatic attack is our Acid Bolt, which is going to do 2 damage per round and 4 damage up front. On this side, we're going to take the same cover. We're just going to shoot over this counter over and over, I guess, instead of doing anything else intelligent. Our entire team gets to move before anything else happens, so we don't have to worry about one guy going, then another guy going, then another guy going, and just the whole thing turning into kind of a chess match. He's got throwing knives. He's got kunai, which appears to be new. I'm going to have him do an aim shot. Oh, and we missed, so he's actually going to get to attack, which is disappointing. And do 6 damage, which is double disappointing. I'm going to take him out. Damn it. Why don't you die? There we go. Die for me, sucker. And then we're going to have, it looks like there's a console here. We're going to have our Decker take care of that. Security Alert Response Plan, Quebec 6. Matrix Operations locked. HTR team responding. Decking 2, override Matrix Operations door, lock. There we are. Contextual abilities allowed us to bypass it. Matrix Operations unlocked. So now, well, we can't see anymore, but this was locked down here, so I bet that's what's unlocked. Let's get everybody into cover for the battle to come, because I heard doors opening in here. Did I leave Dietrich? Oh, I did. I left Dietrich with AP. Lovely. I don't even have to complain about it now. Let's take Dietrich, and he's got a healing spell on him. We're going to heal her last damage. There it is. Will we take fire here? Yes, we will. Fairly accurate fire, indeed. That was a long shot, and they still managed to make it. I'm going to do Three Toes last, which has already got him all disappointed. But I want to make sure that there's a slot for him. In this game, you always want to be careful of your main character, because if your main character dies, that's it for you, chummer. The game is now over. It's a feature that I don't really like, because you can equip your main character and other characters with res kits, but you can't res yourself, so once you're gone, that's that, I guess, and you don't get the chance to res. I wish there was kind of like a 3-turn countdown or something to circumnavigate that. They may have changed it, I don't know. We haven't played the game long enough to find out. Let's do an aim shot over here. And the aim shot is a lovely miss. And the second shot, at a lower chance to hit, managed to land. 46% from here. Ooh, Monica coming in nice and deadly on the back burner. Very, very good. I should probably look at my equipment at some point, too, and figure out what everybody has in their back pockets. So that it's always good to know what utility items you have. I'm going to put him in cover, and we'll throw out kind of a worthless knife. What just happened? Ew, new feature. So what the game just did is it moved me out of cover to move to the first place that I could make the attack that I was mounting over. Like in the first game, it would just say out of range. I dislike that change, and I think that's probably going to motivate me to spend some time in the options, seeing if I can't change that, because that is a really, really terrible change. I mean, as far as changes goes, shame on you. That is bad. I don't know any turn-based aficionados who would ever go for something like that. Like moving me out of cover so that I could take a shot? Not on my watch, chummer. So I guess we'll just have to be careful until I figure out how to disable that. That's a really, really bad feature. I don't like that at all. I don't remember it doing that in the first game. It may have. I might just have a bad memory, but for me personally, that one sucks. Everybody is healed after the combat, and this is where I'm going to break off the episode. The game does have a manual saving mechanic in now, which is very, very good. You'll recall that the first game had kind of a, I don't know, a shoddy saving system that nobody liked. I'll leave it there, and we'll move forward and say that the developers have done what they can to remove that hazard from your journey. We can now save whenever we want. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here in the Nerd Castle for the first episode of Shadowrun Returns Dragonfall. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode, and I'm so excited! So I will see you there. Take care, everybody, and I will see you in the next episode.